Accusations within this phony attack received national attention for weeks. Celebrities, news commentators, and even presidential candidates weighed in on something that was choreographed by an actor.
All right, that was Chicago Police Chief Eddie Johnson calling out pretty much the media, celebrities, anyone who accepted hook, line, and sinker Jussie Smollett's original story of the events that went down in Chicago that now appear to be a hoax perpetrated by the actor. What happens here at a time when media bias has become a front and center issue of late, with former CBS News Chief Foreign Affairs correspondent Lara Logan calling out the liberal bias that she says is rampant in the mainstream media?
If there are any independent voices out there, if there are any journalists who are not beating the same drum and giving the same talking points, then we pay the price. They smear you personally. They go after your integrity. They go after your reputation.
All right, she was on with Sean Hannity. Democratic strategist Rochelle Ritchie is here, Fox News contributor Katherine Timpf, and Walkaway campaign founder Brandon Straka. Brandon, what do you make of just sometimes there's a confluence of events that call into question how the media pounces on certain matters?
Like the Jussie Smollett incident?
Exactly.
I think this is the most wonderful gift from God we could have possibly been given. It so clearly illustrates exactly what the liberal media does, which starts with a conclusion. They start with a conclusion. Donald Trump is a racist. Donald Trump supporters are racist or they're bigots. Then they work backwards to try to support that narrative and find any sort of evidence that they can find to support that. So they thought they hit pay dirt when a gay black man stepped forward and said, MAGA people came after me and they attacked me in an alley. They didn't ask any questions. They went with the story, just the same way they attacked the Covington kids, and it all backfired spectacularly.
Rochelle, what do you think?
Well, you know, I think that 99% of national news networks are biased commentary. And I think that as a former reporter of 12 years...
Biased in what way?
Biased in the fact that it's commentary. So there's a difference between journalists...
Or biased that it's liberal.
Let me finish my point. There's a difference between journalism and there's a difference between commentary. And so sometimes when you see these, like us right now, we're not journalists, but people are listening to what we're saying and they're taking it as fact. When this report came out from Jussie Smollett, the local news stations reported it as what was given to them. So sometimes you're reporting the news as is. Once their reports were done, that's when people like us came and gave our personal opinions about it.
All right,
so
well,
I'm not sure about this liberal media bias.
And I beg to differ with you. I am a journalist. So when I look at something like this, and believe me, I tick off Trump folks as well, you are making a leap on a story that can sometimes sound too good to be true.
But what is wrong with condemning hate, though? There's nothing wrong with condemning hate.
But to leap on a story that sometimes fits your agenda is a difference, right?
And using the word alleged, because they did that. There were a lot of people
who were upset
about
the leaping on it was a bit too much. You'd have to look at, was the leaping on it a bit too much?
No, I think you needed to report this story. Absolutely.
Do you condemn the hatred of Trump supporters?
Condemn the hatred of Trump?
Of some Trump supporters. Do you condemn it?
Are
you condemning Jussie Smollett now and his hatred of Trump supporters?
Okay, so let's get this straight. So the first thing I want to say, since you asked me that, I think what Jussie Smollett did was a slap in the face to anybody that has or will be a victims of hate crimes. And I've said that on this network as well as
it was a hate crime.
Other liberal. Let me finish my point.
It was a hate crime against Trump supporters.
No, this is what I'm saying. He used racism to manipulate people.
Yeah, that's what the liberal media does.
To promote himself. But
that's liberalism.
Well, let's step back a second, Kat. When you're looking at this, it did easily feed a narrative that's out there. It's a popular one that, you know, this is something, yeah, a lot of people I could definitely see, you know, Trump supporters doing this. And it got crazy, right? I mean, no one slowed down enough to say, well, wait a minute, let's start adding this up.
Well, I think the problem is that far too many people in media don't have the goal that they're supposed to have anymore. Their goal is supposed to be to report the facts and keep in mind that it's better to be correct than to be first. But for far too many people, the goal instead is to try to use their platform to take down Donald Trump. So they see something like this, a gay black man attacked in the name of Donald Trump, and they jumped on it. A lot of people did jump on it. They weren't using words like alleged, Rochelle. They were saying
they were.
A lot of people did not.
And a lot of black people were upset that they were using the word alleged.
If I can finish, please. A lot of people did not, and it was just too good to be true. It was like letting loose a bunch of drunks at an open bar. They were just kind of going bananas without thinking of what the consequences would be. And now a lot of their credibility is going to suffer because of it.
Yeah. Well, I just think that when you look at a story like this, sometimes it again feeds a narrative, feeds a positionalist, and I think it's better to be late and right than early and wrong. And to your original reporting, of course, it was deemed ultimately wrong. That happens. But I think it just, for people to leap on it and run with it as a theme was dangerous.
It is dangerous. And, you know, and where was the word alleged with the Covington kids? I mean, where was that? They were so more than happy to say, you know, this is what happened. This is the narrative. They're guilty. Oh, Trump supporters being Trump supporters once again. There was no alleged.
Rochelle, that's what happened. A lot of them are coming out and making statements
because of perception and
about the president.
And it's so.
Yeah, but who created that perception? And when is it ever true?
Perception is based off of your. Can you not think for yourself? Perception is based off of how you
racist
feel.
Stories ever
if you
end up
look
being
at
true?
if you look at a video of some kid
Guys,
and you perceive it as rape, and somebody perceives it's not,
our responsibility as journalists here in this case to make sure the perception is the reality. We'll have much more after this.